Welcome to the Immigrant in Law channel. We continue our honest and detailed analysis of all the countries of the European Union through the eyes of immigrants themselves. In this video, you will learn the real pros and cons of living in Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, without advertising, without gloss, and without illusions. Compare, analyze, and choose the country that suits you. So, let's continue our journey through Europe. Lithuania is one of the most compact yet well thought out countries in the Baltic states. There is no hustle and bustle of the capital, but there is silence, order, beautiful streets, and a feeling of closeness to nature. The country is well suited to those who appreciate a relaxed pace of life, digital services, and the opportunity to work remotely. The first thing that those who have moved to the country note is its coziness and smallness. The cities are small but clean, well maintained, with historical architecture and European atmosphere. Vilnius is very green, with many parks, old buildings and streets where it is pleasant to walk. From any city to a forest, a lake, or even the sea is a half-hour drive. This creates the feeling that life is not torn between city and nature. They coexist here. The business environment is another advantage. Lithuania is actively developing the startup and IT sector. Low taxes, simplified registration, support for digital products. This attracts freelancers, small teams, and companies looking for a compact and understandable jurisdiction in the EU. In addition, the infrastructure of digital public services here is at an excellent level. Many things can be solved online, quickly and without queues. A separate advantage is respect for personal boundaries. No one here will ask you questions, give you advice, or interfere in your private life. If you are an introvert, like silence and autonomy, you will be comfortable here. Neighbors are polite, but not intrusive. Landlords are discreet. Society as a whole is oriented towards not disturbing each other. But Lithuania has its own nuances. First of all, wages. They are still lower than in Western Europe. This is especially felt in the regions and in the public sector. If you plan to earn in the Lithuanian economy, you should be prepared for a modest level of income. However, expenses here are also moderate, and if you work for the foreign market, you can live quite comfortably. The second point is the attitude towards newcomers. In big cities, especially Vilnius and Kaunas, foreigners are treated calmly. But in small towns, there is coldness, alienation. It is not aggression, but distance is felt. And finally, there is staff drain. Many young specialists, doctors, engineers leave for Germany, the Netherlands, Scandinavia. This affects the dynamics of life. There are fewer young families in the regions, business is developing slowly, and the labor market is limited. It is often felt that the country is a bit empty, especially outside the big cities. Luxembourg is one of the smallest countries in Europe, but it is also one of the richest. It is a state with a population of just over 500,000 people, but with a standard of living that even many large economies can only envy. People move here not for the sea or the sun, but for money, career, and the quality of the urban environment. Incomes here are really high. According to statistics, Luxembourg is among the top in terms of GDP per capita. Financial sector, legal services, IT, logistics, international organizations, all this brings stable and highly paid jobs. Security is almost perfect. Crime is almost non-existent. Children walk alone. People leave their bicycles safely on the streets. In addition, cleanliness, well-maintained, a lot of greenery, environmentally friendly transportation, thoughtful urban rhythm. Medicine is at a high level. Hospitals are well-equipped, specialists are professional, insurance system works steadily. And unlike some EU countries, there is no feeling that getting to a doctor is a feat. Let's add internationality here. French, German, Luxembourgish, and very often English are spoken here. People from dozens of countries, a multicultural work environment, international schools. If you are used to diversity, it will be easier to adapt than in homogeneous countries. But despite the glitz and order, Luxembourg is not for everyone. The first and most painful thing is renting accommodation. Prices are astronomical. To rent a one-bedroom apartment in the capital can cost an amount comparable to a mortgage in Paris or Zurich. Offers are limited, competition is huge, especially if you do not work in a large international company. The second point is the size of the country. Luxembourg is literally one city with surrounding areas. If you are used to diversity, traveling on weekends, changing scenery, it will be cramped here. Yes, you can go to Belgium or France, but the scale of life itself is compact. And the third point is closed social circles. An international environment does not mean easy integration. Luxembourgers are a rather closed society. The elites have been formed long ago. Many families have lived here for generations. Once you move, you will be part of the new ones, and the road to real social inclusion is a long one. Malta is a sunny island state in the heart of the Mediterranean Sea. It's small, bright, rocky, and hot. It is chosen by those looking for a warm climate an English-speaking environment, and the comfort of working or doing business remotely. The main advantage is the English language. Malta is one of the few EU countries where it is official. All government services, medicine, banks, education, even street signs, everything is in English. If you don't want to learn a new language, but to live in Europe, this is a great starting point. The second thing is the climate. 300 days of sunshine a year, even in winter. Warm, bright, green, and the sea at your side. Winters are mild, with almost no heating season. In spring and fall, ideal conditions for life, +20, sea, oranges on the trees. Malta has become popular among freelancers and entrepreneurs. There is a simplified tax system, there are benefits for residents, there are programs of residence permit and investment citizenship. The country actively attracts foreigners, especially those with capital or remote income. Plus, convenient time zone position between Europe and the East, which is convenient for working with foreign clients. However, it should be taken into account that Malta is an island, and a small one, very small. It feels cramped, both literally and socially. Houses are dense, every second balcony has a neighbor, half a meter away. There are often no yards, no privacy, no space. Prices are also a surprise. Almost everything is imported: water, food, machinery. Because of this, stores are more expensive than in continental Europe. Household appliances, dairy products, even vegetables cost more than the EU average. Housing, especially in Sliema, Valletta or St. Julian's, is expensive. Demand is high, and quality does not always match price. Summer is a serious challenge. Temperatures over +35, high humidity, heat even at night, and most importantly, crowds of tourists. In high season, the island becomes crowded, noisy, sometimes just cannot push through in the city center or on the beaches. Many locals and expats try to go on vacation in July and August just to take a break from Malta. The Netherlands is one of the most progressive and technologically advanced countries in Europe. Here it is easy to believe that the future has already arrived. Everything is automated, organized, and built with care for human beings. If you are looking for a European country that combines comfort, rights, and stability, the Netherlands will definitely be at the top of the list. The first thing that impresses you is the standard of living: safety, ecology, medicine, transportation, urban design. Everything is at a very high level. Bicycles everywhere, fresh air, clean cities, digital government services, work contracts with transparent conditions. You can feel that the system cares about people. The second big advantage is English. Almost everyone speaks it fluently, including officials, cashiers, and doctors. Many universities and companies are fully English-speaking. If you are afraid of the language barrier, here it is minimal, especially in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and Utrecht. The Netherlands is a tolerant and open country. Freedom of choice, equal rights, respect for other people's boundaries are valued here. If you are from minorities, creative environment, or just want to live in a society where no one is judged for identity, you will be comfortable. The economy is developed and stable. The country is an important logistic and financial center. IT, design, startup, and digital marketing specialists, as well as financiers and engineers, are in demand here. The business environment is dynamic, flexible, and international. And of course, infrastructure. Cities are designed for people. Bicycle lanes, parks, public transportation, and digital solutions are everywhere. Even the paperwork is often online, fast and uncomplicated. Living here is convenient, especially if you appreciate order and care for the urban environment. But the Netherlands has a downside. First of all, renting accommodation. In Amsterdam, Utrecht, and The Hague, finding an apartment is a real challenge. Prices are very high, competition is huge, and the area can be minimal. You often have to search for a long time, submit dozens of applications, and be ready to compromise on location and conditions. Second, the weather. Rain, wind, grayness. It's almost year-round here. Winter, though mild, is dark and damp. If sunshine and blue skies are important to you, it can be hard to adapt. Another nuance is social distance. The Dutch are polite but keep personal boundaries. Making friends is not easy, especially outside of work. Many foreigners say they feel a bit out, even after a few years of living there. Taxes and regulations for businesses are quite complicated. Freelancers and small business owners need to understand the system, consult with accountants, and prepare reports in advance. The state strictly enforces the rules. And the last thing is overpopulation. The Netherlands is one of the most densely populated countries in Europe. Sometimes it feels like there are just too many people. In transportation, on the streets, in cafes, especially during rush hours. As you can see, each European country has its own character, its own advantages and disadvantages. Choosing a country is always an individual choice. Stability is more important to some, climate is more important to another, and accessibility of adaptation and career opportunities are more important to others. Compare carefully and choose wisely. Immigrant in Law team is ready to answer all questions about migration to the European Union. Our experts will help you find the best route to EU citizenship so that you can live, work, or study freely in any of the 27 European countries. In the next video, you'll learn the honest pros and cons of living in countries like Poland, Portugal, Romania, and Slovakia. Stay tuned, give us likes and ask your questions in the comments. Subscribe to Immigrant in Law channel and open a world of opportunities for you and your family. See you in the next episode.